Hi all, welcome to the MLS League SBC guide. Plenty to cover in this with lots of teams, 23 in total, so if you can smash likes would be awesome. Sub to channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at @GIsALegend. All the links are down below for playlists on the channel and social media links as always. It actually feels quite great to get the SBC guides up and kind of flowing really, because we've kind of obviously slacked a little, but obviously it's good to get them up at the same time. Now the MLS is 295k to 300k worth of packs. Total spend between 156 to 160k. Now your returns not too bad either, and I would say, despite the number of small packs that you get quite a few like small gold players, small prime gold players, small prime electrum packs. Despite that, I would say realistically, if you're talking say nearly, I would say at least 100k return, because you get quite a few rare gold packs into the equation, you're getting at least 3, then you're talking a few decent a few other like electrum players packs to throw into the mix. Like if every pack is at least 3 to 5k return, and then your bigger packs are 8k, I would say you have a chance. You've got to remember as well, with the rare gold packs, all you need is like one good player and suddenly you've made your difference. But with clubs like Atlanta, 25k pack, that is roughly a 12-13k spend. Fairly expensive, but if you've got obviously guys like Almiron for example and Martinez, you're fairly straightforward. Chicago Fire, with them they're a 6.25k pack for a 5k return. Colorado Rapids is a 5-6k pack in the form of a prime silver players pack, and that is a 6 to 7k spend. Then when you go to Columbus Crew, that is a 10k spend for a 20. It works out as a 22.5k pack for a small prime gold players. Prime gold player, I personally do not see, even though they class it as a 45k pack, I personally don't feel the small prime like the small versions of this pack, for example, I would deem a 22.5k pack. I feel, even though it's half the pack, like it literally is half the value, I don't feel it is. That's just my interpretation of the packs, but I know everyone will perceive them differently. DC United is a 5k pack and it is a 5k spend. In terms of the MLS, when I went through them all, there isn't a great few really that are actually worth the money. Like I would say, going over them all, New England Revolution is one that's worth doing. That is a 4 or 5k spend for a 7.5k pack. I would definitely say it's worth going. Saying that, the rare gold packs, the ones of Atlanta, then Sporting KC, and then Philadelphia Union, all 3 of them practically are like 10, 11, 12, at the very most 13k. I would say, even depending on what you've packed already from these teams, if you've been doing bronze and silver pack method, there is a chance that you might get your return back or interest on the specific teams. Like in terms of like DC United, that, as I said, that's a 5k pack, 5k spend. FC Dallas is a 7k pack, and that is a 8k spend for a premium mixed players pack. And when you go to Houston Dynamo, that is a 10k pack for 6k spend. I would say you could run close, but realistically at the same time I don't think so. Then when you go to LA Galaxy, it's roughly a 10-12k pack. Prime mixed players pack, I've still never quite nailed the value down on it. It's a tough one with the LA Galaxy, but the common theme is wherever the team has a gold player, you will find with the MLS teams it is worth doing. When I've seen some of the routes that people have put together, especially for the MLS in particular, like I'm trying to remember, like not just like Sporting KC, Toronto was one. Toronto was being one team example where people were putting the only one gold in the team, and they were then incorporating the bronzes and the silvers into the team. Same with LAFC, Los Angeles FC, which is a 6.25k pack for a 5k spend. People were doing that. They were putting maybe Horta and Feldhaber, but they weren't including Nguyen, for example. And I'm like, when you looked at the midfield, I'm like, Nguyen, Feldhaber and Horta are the 3 cheapest centre mids, like, in that team. Like, why are we seeing silvers that are suddenly double the price? But it is what some people do. Like, but at the end of the day, I know that people are trying to build the cheapest routes. Maybe at the time the silvers were maybe the cheapest. I totally understand that. I've done that myself. But I think when the golds at that time were clearly the cheapest, and by some distance, it kind of was quite alarming. Minnesota United is a 22.5k pack for a 67k spend. You have to play the gold centre forward Quintero at cam. You can't play him at striker to make it work, I'm afraid. It can't be done cheaper that way as well, I should say. I've seen quite a few people not put David Villa in routes. They have tried to go other ways, and I'm like, David Villa is the cheapest striker, like, in the team. Yeah, like, if you're paying 700 coins, why are you willing to then pay 1,000 for the same position? It makes no sense. Like, pay 700 coins. But hey ho. Montreal Impact is another 20. The Minnesota United is not a 22.5k pack. I tell a total lie. That was a 10k pack. Montreal Impact is the 22.5k pack. Joys of reading your own handwriting. New England Revolution is a 7.5k pack. For, as I say, that's a 4-5k spend. And it is definitely worth doing for New England Revolution. NYCFC, which is David Villa's team, that is a 10k pack, 7k spend. It's touch and go. New York Red Bulls is a 10k pack. The Electrum Players pack, the standard one, for a 5k spend. That could be worth doing, but I think you've only got, like, what, 1 rare in it, so it's really touch and go. And I would say you've got to kind of hope that you get something worthwhile for it. Orlando City, 6.25k pack for a 4k spend. It isn't too bad, really. I will admit, it isn't too bad to do. It is worth a chance. Philadelphia Union, as I said, rare gold pack for 11-12k spend. I would definitely say it's worth a chance. Like, I would imagine your three rare players are at least going to cost, say, return maybe 2 to 2.5k minute at worst. Then your consumables maybe double that, because you'll probably get at least 1 or 2 squad fitnesses. You'll get a couple rare contracts. You may even find that you get a coin boost, like a real, like, the last rare gold pack, one of the last rare gold packs I had, I got 3,000 coins and a free, I want to say it's like a loan pack, like it was an 83 plus loan pack, and I ended up getting like 500 coins in that again, plus players. I was like, that's kind of crazy. Portland Timbers is another 22.5k pack for a 7-8k spend. That is another one that it's worth taking the chance. Like with Timbers, Valeri, while being an inform, he is worth putting in the route. You've kind of, even though he's a little bit expensive, if you're willing to wait with the team as well, then you can save a little bit more money. The 7-8k spend, I think, could push into 6 as a result, because you can probably then get Valeri for 650, and then it's not too bad. With Real Salt Lake, that's a 7.5k pack for a free 4k spend, and that's another one definitely worth doing. Like, it's worth the chance. San Jose Earthquakes, that is a 5k pack for a 5k spend. I feel 5k packs are always just, they could go anywhere. They genuinely could go anywhere. All you need is the rare, and like, I've seen people pack icons in them, and I'm like, fair play. Fair play on that. Same with the 7.5k packs. I've packed an icon in a 7.5k pack. Did that in FIFA 17, so I know it can be done. Seattle Sounders is a 22.5k pack for an 8k spend. Another one it's worth looking at, because it's not too expensive and it can be done cheap, especially the amount of golds in the team. Sporting KC, as I said, is a 25k pack for 11-12k spend. It's guys like Opara, even though he's 1,000 coins, if you can get him on bid for 600, suddenly you're then pushing into 10k bracket. And then same with the other silvers. If you've pretty much got these guys already, like Fontas, like Gutierrez, you're not then having to spend too much more money. If you can already have them in your club, then you find fairly quickly that you're not too bad. The right mid, right wing position, that is always quite heavily contested, I've noticed. Same with striker, Rubio and Wondolowski. Both of them constantly fighting out for cheapest superiority, as I saw. Toronto FC is a 7k pack for a 5-6k return. Now, I've seen people do it with Altidore, yet the cheaper way at the moment is Bradley and Victor Vasquez, and then going usually one of the bronze forwards, and then whoever the cheapest silver striker is at that point. And Vancouver Whitecaps is a 5k pack for a 5-6k return, and by the time you eventually round it all off, as I say, it's between 156 to 161k. You could even say 150 to 165 if you really wanted to kind of cut it away a little bit and give it a little bit more flexibility on freedom. But in terms of packs, as I say, it's roughly between 275 300k. Like, it isn't too bad for its return. Like, you need 253 players all told, so that just kind of gives you an idea of how many players that you're having to buy up in the league, to give you an idea. Would I say the MLS is worth doing? For the cards that you get, Rooney, both aren't going to get informed anytime soon because of the MLS wrapping up soon, so it's definitely worth doing if you're wanting the cards, and Rooney links up quite easily, and same for Piatti. But hopefully you enjoyed this, folks. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Smash like as always, sub to the channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at GSLegend. Take it easy, all. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.